Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. So, you probably know The Hunger Games as three separate books, right? Three incredible stories. But for today, we're going to look at them in a totally different way, as one single continuous case study of how an authoritarian system works, how it lives, and how it dies. Look, this isn't going to be about the love triangle or even just the raw survival aspect. No. Instead, we're going to use the world of Pan Am as a kind of blueprint, a model for understanding how power really operates. You know, how it grabs control, what makes it crumble, and, this is the scary part, how it can just pop back up with a brand new face. And that brings us to the core idea of the whole trilogy, what makes it so brilliant. It's this: brute force alone, it's never enough. To really hold onto power, you have to control the narrative. You have to control the story everyone tells themselves. And here's the twist that makes it all so chilling. The books show us how rebellion itself can end up just recreating the exact oppressive structures it was trying to destroy. All right, so if we want to understand how a system like this breaks, we first have to get a handle on how it works when it's running perfectly. You know, when everything is humming along just the way the powerful want it to. So the entire system of panem is built on this really old idea, all the way from ancient Rome, called panem et circenses, which literally means bread and circuses. Plutarch Heavensby, he gets it. The deal is brutally simple. We'll keep your stomachs full and give you a heck of a show. And in return, you give us all the power. And this creates this just vicious loop, right? It's the engine that runs Panem. The districts provide the bread, all the resources, all the labor. And what does the capital give back? The circuses, the Hunger Games. And this isn't just a distraction, it's a tool. It's designed to keep the districts divided, scared, and without a shred of hope. That way, the whole horrible cycle just repeats itself over and over. We have to be really clear here. The games are not just some twisted reality TV show. They are an annual threat, broadcast live for everyone to see. When you strip away all the glitter, the message from the Capitol is crystal clear. Look, we can take your children and kill them, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Step out of line and we will wipe you off the map. It's that raw. Okay, so this system seems perfect, right? Watertight, but it has a weak spot, a single critical vulnerability, the story itself. And we're about to see how one little crack in that story can make the whole thing start to crumble. So think of it like this. The system is a feedback loop, a machine that fuels itself. The Capitol has power, so they use that power to create a massive spectacle, the games. The whole point of that spectacle is to make everyone else feel one thing: fear. And that fear, it flows right back to the Capitol, making them even more powerful. It's a perfect, self-sustaining machine of control. But then something happens that wasn't in the script, an anomaly, a variable the system can't account for. And you know who spots the danger first? President Snow. He sees Katniss and those berries, and he knows that what the districts see is an act of pure defiance. And an idea like that, well, that's more than just a problem. It's a virus in the code. And that single act of defiance, it gets a symbol, the Mockingjay. That symbol hits the feedback loop right where it hurts the most, in the hearts and minds of the people. It hijacks the Capitol's broadcast. It takes all that fear they so carefully built up, and it flips it into hope, into defiance. And just like that, the machine starts to break. So the old system is crumbling. The narrative is broken, the rebellion is gaining ground, and it feels like a new day is dawning. But this is where the story gets really complicated, because as the rebels start to build their new world, a really disturbing pattern begins to take shape. You start to see the new leadership in District 13 under President Coin acting, well, a lot like the Capitol. Snow had his Hunger Games. Coin has her propaganda videos, the proposals. Snow used order to justify his actions. Coin uses vengeance. And maybe the biggest tell of all, Snow wanted to kill the Mockingjay symbol. Coin, she wants to control it, to turn it into her own weapon. The packaging is different, but the product, absolute control, starts to look disturbingly familiar. And then comes the moment that proves the point beyond all doubt. Coin's final proposal. It's just bone-chilling. She suggests one last symbolic Hunger Games, but this time using the Capitol's children. And that's it, isn't it? The cycle is complete. It proves that the system, This brutal logic of sacrificing children to settle scores doesn't care who's in charge. The system itself survives. Which brings us to the trilogy's really haunting final message about what power even is. What the story really seems to be saying is this. When people stop being people and start being pieces on a board, pawns in a bigger game, then things like right and wrong get really blurry really fast. The system itself, it doesn't matter if it's run by snow or by coin, starts demanding cruelty just to keep itself going. And in the process, it warps everyone involved. And that's the thing. The trilogy doesn't wrap this up with a nice, neat bow. It just leaves us with this huge, difficult question. When the rules of the game itself are broken, when they're designed to keep the fighting going forever, what does it even mean to win? How do you break a system without just becoming the new boss? For the full long-form deep dive into this topic, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.